It's not on.
It is. I'm just getting a good volume here.
2. There we go.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's a good one.
I didn't even need the whole count.
They're like, what are they doing in there? What's clapping? What's making those clapping
Ew.
sounds? Ew.
Over and over again. That was good.
That was good.
All right, so we're going.
Yep.
We are going.
All right. So this is episode 3 of the Stronger Through Humor podcast.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cody, you good?
I am good.
Your hair's good?
I don't know, is it?
Is that what you're going to go with? Okay.
He fixed it. He fixed it before
Finished working
starting.
out. It's a little messy.
Oh, yeah,
probably.
whatever. Yeah, you've been done for a while.
Yeah, I'm sweaty.
Your hair's good?
Yeah, I need a
Yeah.
shower.
And I haven't even worked out.
All right, so yeah, I guess we'll lead off with Cody. I don't know what he's doing on his laptop here. I think he's
Yeah, I'm good.
he's gaming out a little bit.
Ready.
Yeah,
No,
I'm in the middle of a
games.
You finished
match.
your solitaire?
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Minesweeper? All right.
Pulling up the powerlifting in, folks. We're going to talk about that.
Now we're going to skip
Oh,
over
we're going to
that.
spoil it. He's
yeah.
spoiling it. Yeah.
All right, so as we've talked about before, we got the Movement Powerlifting Classic 3.0 on April 18th, and we got some updates on that.
Yeah, so this just got updated 2 hours ago, actually.
Whoa,
we
hot
are
off the press.
now up to 21.
Damn.
So we are exactly halfway to the 42 cap for lifters.
That would be exactly halfway.
Exactly half. So 50% of spots are full, guys. So if you haven't registered yet, make sure you register soon and lock your spot in so you can compete.
How many for males?
Let's do a quick count. We got...
Cody is not prepared for this rapid fire.
Didn't know you could ask me that.
That's what Cody said.
Yeah.
That was-
Oh, shoot.
12. It looks like 13 of them are females. So we got
Yeah.
8 males.
That's a solid number.
That's a flight right there.
Yeah, 13 females.
That's
by
good.
quick count here.
That's solid.
And supposedly there's a few more that have said they're signing up too. So
Did the one I know? Or the
No.
one I'm, she hasn't signed up yet?
no.
Well, that's it.
That's
That's it for her. All right. And
Do you wanna
we're
talk about-
still looking for volunteers in that, and we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we're definitely still looking for volunteers. Looks like we got an update on that too. Though we got more.
Whoa.
We were only at 3 volunteers officially registered, but yesterday 2 more registered. So we are now at 5.
Sweet.
We have more that have told us they're going to volunteer, but they haven't actually filled out the form yet.
Call them out right now.
So
Yeah.
Jason Palapus, fill out that form.
Get him.
Speaking of Jason, a little shout out to him if you're looking
Yeah,
for
you can
some
put that
custom.
away. Put that away until he volunteers.
No. Some custom 3D prints. Check out MJC 3D prints on Instagram. He made this cool little kettlebell for us.
And this is
So,
500 kilograms.
500 kilograms, and it's actually a nice little storage as well.
So what would you store in there,
Yeah. Cody, what do you store in there?
personally?
I don't know.
Tell us.
He doesn't know what he stores.
It's obviously nothing. It's empty.
Well, it's hiding. It's hiding. His little secrets. You little-
But yeah, we'll cover some sponsor updates.
Yeah, we got some big news on that front.
We're still looking for sponsors, but we do have some confirmed, obviously, already. This year, making some changes. First 2 years, we just had a standard sponsor option where it's just flat rates. Everyone had the same option, but this year we kind of made 3 levels of sponsorship. So for our first level, it's going to be on the t-shirts and announced during the meet, just like previous years. This year we are adding in a banner behind the platform. So option 2 gets your logo on that banner. So during every lift, you'll see your logo. During all the videos, you'll definitely see that as well. And then option 3, we wanted to kind of give some people a little bit of an advantage, promote themselves more than others. So we're offering 3 main sponsorships, larger logos, more shout outs, any info they want us to provide to everyone, that'll be done as well. We do have 2 of those 3 spots taken already. So only 1 main sponsorship spot's left. We locked in Kaizen and we've locked in Action Physiotherapy.
Nice.
probably hold off on the details on what they're doing for a little bit. Maybe next podcast we'll cover that a bit more. But those are 2 of our 3 main sponsors.
So shout out to them.
And we have locked in as just regular sponsors. We've got Bells of Steel, Apex Elites, and Winnipeg Deck and Rail. So far those are our 5 confirmed sponsors.
Cool.
And definitely some more are in the works, just nothing's finalized yet there.
Yeah.
So if you want to sponsor the meet, definitely reach out to us.
Cool. All right, Joe. So, what meat did you smoke this week?
What meat did I smoke this week?
Yeah.
It's a pretty clear question.
Are you okay?
No, my arm hurts from throwing that ball. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't smoke any meat
Again,
this
it's
week.
2
I
in a
know.
row.
Everyone's been busy.
Yeah,
Everyone's-
I
I know. We started this whole meat. What meat you smoking segment, and I haven't
you
even
stopped doing
done anything. My meat man's busy playing a lot of. He's playing a lot of volleyball these days. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, my meat man.
You need to find a new meat, man.
It's just a drought, man. You know, it's this time of year.
This is a tough time of year to find
Tough
meat?
time. I don't know about finding meat, just smoking meats. For me and my meat man personally.
Yeah, apparently. Volleyball's picking up.
Well then.
All right.
Moving on.
Getting rid of that. I think, we're going to talk about some new developments with some action with the members here, potentially. With the belt.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cody's chiming in right now, guys.
He's playing
so
coy.
we kind of decided we wanted to find a way to kind of promote and recognize some members and clients within the gym. So starting soon, we're going to be doing a member/client of the week. We'll be giving them some prizes. They'll be answering some questions. We got a list of 7 questions. So we'll get a little bit more info about them, the style of training they're doing, what they like to train.
Who's your favorite Power Ranger?
Might be a question. And get some info about movements, what they like about movement as well, things like that. So we're going to start doing that every week, once a week. Probably been about a month from now we're going to start. We were going to start next week actually, but like I said, we're going to do some prizes for them. Still finalizing all that, so we're going to hold off a little bit just so the first few people don't miss out on those prizes.
Still a little bit in the early works.
Yeah, I don't want them to be missing out there at all. With that being said, we're also going to do movement team member highlight of the week. So every week, we are going to start next week probably. We're going to do one of the movement team members. They'll have 7 questions as well. Different set of questions though, just so you guys can get to know the team a little bit better. So that's going to include all the trainers, all the actual staff, front desk staff, myself, therapists. Just the whole team, the marketing department as well. So every week, one person will be featured, and hopefully you guys can get to know the team a little bit more.
Are they featured off of like a movement or something they did, or
you guys have to find that out. There's just going to be, so the post itself is just going to be obviously a photo of them so you know who we're talking about, and then it's going to be the 7 questions that we will ask them. So those 7 questions, you have to wait and see what those are. They are finalized, we picked them, but keep that under wraps for a little bit, I think.
He's playing coy again.
Yeah. Hey, can't give out all the info.
Let's give out all the info.
Yeah.
And what about we were thinking about
doing a monthly one?
the monthly one, yeah.
Yeah, so that will probably take a little bit longer, but we are going to do, so for the weekly one, this is more just a highlight, showcase the people we have within the facility so everyone can kind of get to know each other. It kind of relates back to our last podcast. All our trainers have different clientele, different groups, so it's a great way for us to kind of get everyone to connect it a little bit, know each other a little bit better, and then also so people that aren't at movement can get to know us a bit more as well. But the monthly one, this is going to be like a client or member, like actual highlights. We're going to reward them for whether
What are they
it's
going to get?
there's gonna be a bigger prize than
What
the
is the
weekly
big prize?
Let's just say that it's going
What's
to
the
be
big prize?
it's going to be a prize that people actually want
Well,
and
what
will
is it?
use. Can't say that yet. We're still
We're
working
not.
on it. We actually don't have it finalized.
But what is it?
We don't have it finalized. We're
Right.
still working on
I
it.
think we know
We
what
thought-
it is.
Well,
Of getting
so,
something to transfer.
We know one part. We
Yeah.
don't know all the parts though.
Yeah.
We want to tell that part?
It's been mentioned. We already mentioned it a
Okay.
bit.
So well, you can tell that part.
What do you, well, there's this big lead up, and it's just
You gotta
just
go for it. That's your part. You want to talk about that part?
All right. So my idea was we get a belt, like a wrestling belt,
Oh yeah.
and we hang it from the rafters.
Yeah.
And then
We get all the members.
we get
Just kidding.
the 4 members, the four weekly,
Yeah.
and they fight for it.
Yeah,
That's
we-
what Cody
it's a-
said.
there's a
Cody
ladder.
said,
Yeah, that's obviously
A ladder involved. And
Cody said,
It's a
I have
whole-
here in the notes that Cody was thinking members fight for the belt.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Clearly, that one's not happening.
It's just it.
Right.
Members are going to be fighting for the belt.
this isn't. Yes, it is confirmed. The members will be fighting for the belt.
No, I think in short, we were looking to do that recognition, the monthly member recognition type thing, and we wanted to have some sort of like a trophy or something like that. But what we've decided to do is like a wrestling belt
Yeah,
because that's fun to have.
But on top of that, there will actually be prizes that they get to keep as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's going to stay within the gym, get passed from winner to winner. But then they will all actually get prizes that they get to keep as well, which we're still finalizing those. And how the winners are determined for that is it's going to be a highlight. So whether they accomplish something that they wanted in the gym that they haven't done before, a PR, they've done a movement for the first time. Anytime like a trainer might recommend someone for something that they did the previous month. So there's no clear guidelines, but it's just some sort of highlight for
Yeah.
going above and beyond in whatever aspect it is within that month. So it's not always going to be a PR winner, but that's one example.
I feel like we're gonna have a little Jim from The Office situation here, where Cody gets the first one.
Oh, he's
Hey, you know,
He's gonna get
yeah.
the first one.
for
Only
getting
right.
out of bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to clarify, no members will be fighting each other for the belt.
No fights in the gym.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe next time.
But if I don't win that belt the first one, there's a problem.
Yeah.
There's going to be a fight.
Then there's
Better
gonna
be
a
the first
fight.
winner.
Then there's gonna be a fight. All right. Then we're gonna move on to our newbie question of the day. So Joe's gonna cover this one.
Yeah, because I'm the newbie here.
Yeah. And you're gonna answer it as well.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
This one is just an easy one here. It's after working out, how soon should I consume protein, a protein shake or a protein source, and how much of it should I take?
Okay. So you wanna? Or you wanna? I could like start with it a
You
little
can
bit.
start, yeah. I mean,
Protein's overrated. Don't
Yeah.
take
no protein.
Don't take it.
Howie. Howie.
Call out.
Yeah. So
I'm
if you're
life.
asking Joe, I think he'd just tell you to go to your local pub and drop a couple Jaeger bombs.
Chug a Corona.
Yeah, definitely hit that Corona back and
Yeah.
get complimented by being called the big boy. So, yeah, and then finish by leaving playing. What was the song that you kept on playing?
Me?
I've Got a Golden Ticket by Willy
Oh.
Wonka. One of Joe's favorite songs. Definitely one of his faves.
Easy.
But on topic now, I would say, yeah, we're. I don't want to get into too much detail about maybe some future podcast
Topics and
details
stuff.
and
Yeah,
topics,
that's
what
but
my thought was there.
Just a
I
general-
think so. Say with me personally, I know what I'm good at, and I know like what I don't have a lot of expertise. I have 3 nutrition certificates, but I by no means know
Top tier one there, hey
I
Joe.
know.
Yeah, Joe's actually one of our nutritionists.
My grade 10
Like,
foods and nutrition.
Grade 10 foods and
certificate.
nutrition. Wow, that is.
That certificate is in the gym somewhere.
It is.
Yeah. It's
I'm
hanging up
surprised it's not
somewhere.
on the rafters.
It's
Yeah.
hanging up. But I mean, there's always been like, say, I imagine like bodybuilding.com or stuff like the anabolic window, which like I don't want to say does and doesn't exist, but I mean you've worked out. If you've worked out hard enough or for any length of time, you're gonna be having some micro tearing in your muscle and everything. So I mean, the general rule of thumb, from what I know, is between like 5 and 35 minutes is that you're gonna want.
I was gonna say they usually always say that half-hour window, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you miss it a bit, is that gonna drastically change things?
Yeah, I mean, like you're probably just gonna have an increased amount of recovery, like increased length of time, and then in terms of amount, that's gonna be more of a very specific tour in terms of like how much. First off, that person weighs, and then
how much
their lean muscle mass.
Okay.
So
those two things are huge because like you can't say someone who weighs 130 pounds or someone who weighs 230 pounds
should
be taking the exact same amount, right? Like you obviously you have your protein container and it says 1 scoop per serving, right? But in reality, that's not going to be the case. You got to factor in your size and, like you said, lean body mass and all that. But you gotta kind of go based on how you feel too, right? Like I know personally, if I take in too much at once, I don't feel as good either, right?
Your tummy hurts.
No, but like you get to know what you're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's protein or actual food. Like I personally don't take any protein powder after a workout. I always go for actual food sources, right? So I'm not gonna overeat right after a workout, but I do want to get something in as soon as I'm done. I always try to eat like probably within 10 to 15 minutes, but that's just my reasoning for that isn't because I'm trying to do it within 30 minutes. It's more like if I don't do it now, it may be an hour or two if I don't think about it, right? Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing is like the sooner you do it, you know you've done it. You know you got that food in you. It's going to help you feel better, recover. But if you skip it at first and you start doing something else, which I'm bad for, I'll start doing work or something else. I don't even think about it, and it can be 2-3 hours later before I get anything in me, which is not ideal at all.
Say, then every other aspect, so like your mood's gonna like be in flux, and you're just gonna be a pretty shitty person in that.
So I've got to get Joe to start eating more during the day.
Oh man,
yeah, he's terrible during the day.
Cranker.
Does he eat all day?
6 eggs in the morning.
I'm always cranky here. Yeah, I need food.
But like, I know like myself, I've had like with balancing like exams and clients and stuff like that. There's like afternoons where I don't eat at all, and I just feel like.
You'll feel it.
Yeah, like my energy will be low, and that's like probably why I got like decently sick throughout this week, right? It's just because like my energy was low, my reserves were spent, and I'm trying to still push weight and everything, and it's just.
And just to clarify, this is not. Is this protein specific or just eating in general now?
This is like my personal thing was eating in general.
Okay.
But protein specific, like I think we got away from it a little bit, but
See, and that's the thing, like, kind of related to what you said there, though. I definitely notice when my protein intake is low, right? Like, cutting carbs a little bit, whatever, you miss that, that's one thing, but I definitely feel a difference. During a day, like, I can tell you by the end of the night, I can tell you if I didn't have enough protein, or if I ate of what I usually eat, just based on how I feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a superpower.
So no, it's just something. Like I just noticed it. Like I can feel a difference.
That's why your biceps been bothering you. There it is.
That's it. You figured it out.
Yeah.
Got him.
You problem solved it. I don't know what I was gonna branch. Like what a protein is type thing. We could branch off into that, like the 8 essential amino acids that like make up a protein and stuff. So like a complete protein, and how I know like I have. And this will be like a future podcast.
Kind of go into like different sources and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
and like that's why I have like a vegan client, and it's really tougher because you essentially got to know like everything.
Yeah.
About.
You have to be right on point.
Yeah, because there's different.
It's tough.
Yeah, there's different amino acids that are going to make a complete protein. Whereas like, say for a person that doesn't really have any restrictions, like me. Like dairy kind of bothers me, but like it's just like my tummy hurts a little bit. It's not like I can't eat it or I'm gonna get sick or something, right?
I'm the same way though. Yeah. I limit my dairy, but I can eat it, but I just control it just because I know I'm gonna feel better if it's lower amounts.
Just shovel anything into my mouth.
It's
usually works out.
For Joe. Yeah, he's gonna have pizza, beer, and then he's gonna do
circuitry. So
yeah, craziness. But yeah, like I would say if this person is like really thinking or really wondering, they should meet with somebody and a qualified person, not that a nutrition coach isn't good, but like say when my clients meet with me, I'll explain how bare minimum this guideline is, and that like I don't know, and that like there's much better people, and then I direct them to like the team dietitian.
If you want real results, if you want game-changing results, go to someone who actually knows what they're talking about, who spent all their time studying and learning about that.
And that like goes for anything too, right?
Any field, right? You obviously recommend to a dietitian or someone who's in that field.
Howdy.
Can we answer your questions? Definitely. Are we going to be 100% right? Probably not. Right? Like, so why would you take that chance? So it's like you said, I as a trainer, I don't talk about nutrition, even though I do know stuff. I automatically will refer to Howie just because that's what he does.
Yeah, like
and it goes back and forth. We help each other out, right?
Yeah, you'd give the basics out, but there's always like asterisks here and there, and there's always going to be like.
Well, like every course that I've taken for nutrition has been to like kind of just round out knowledge, like round the edges off. It's not that like, oh, I took this course, now I can give out meal plans. I've never given out a meal plan. First off, like I wouldn't, like, it's just like for the amount of effort I'm gonna put in for a workout plan, I know exactly what to do for that, depending on like what the client's goals are or whatever. But like for nutrition, I'm like, I have no idea how any of this is gonna affect you. Why would I give you?
And if you feel like you're gonna question a part of it, even then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, right? And if you have like I would question like a person that doesn't have much knowledge and is like giving you stuff because. I mean, they could just be talking out of their ass.
Yeah, you can't be like, hey, let's try this, and we'll see how it goes. Like, some people do that.
Yeah, and some of it's going to be, like, trial and error, and I know, like, there's no perfect plan or whatever, but, I mean, if this person is telling you that they can help you out for, like, $20, like...
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be... We got crazy off topic. Thanks a lot, Cody. Yeah, so I think, we got some questions here.
Yeah. Protein good?
Protein is okay. It's kind of
protein
essential.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could branch off into like an insane amount of like keto diets and like all these diet trends and everything like that. But we'll just kind of cap it there.
We'd be talking forever too.
Yeah. That's enough of that. It's enough of Joe's voice. But Joe, we got a question in for you.
Ooh.
Who is your favorite basketball player? And what is your favorite basketball team?
Oh,
me? It's not a question for me.
Man. I'm gonna have to go. It's gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with LeBron James here.
Who's that?
He's a new player. He's an up and comer. A lot of potential.
Yeah.
Is he good? He's all right. He's getting better.
Number 24.
Yeah. I just think he's just an overall good player. Watched him.
Great guy.
Growing up.
Great guy. I know him personally.
I don't know him personally, so I can't say the merit of how great he is. But no, he's my favorite player, I would say. I know some of my friends will dog me because I always have like a joke favorite player.
Jumper and stuff.
No, I'm still a Cavaliers fan. That's my team. Great team.
Great team. Yeah.
Do they still play basketball?
Yeah. Well, if you want to call it that, but yeah.
They put 5 players on the court.
There's 5 people on there. Players are stretching it at times. But that's my team. The favorite player, LeBron James, and the Cleveland Cavaliers for my team.
How could he still be? He left Cleveland.
Yeah, but he left. He came back, won a title, and left again. Fricked off.
Got one title.
Yeah.
Fricked off.
And then he went to Miami and won like 13.
Well,
then he went to Lakers.
No, he won them there and then went back and won in Cleveland.
Yeah. He left Cleveland, went to Miami, won a couple, came back, won, then left
now
again.
Now he's trying to win.
Now he's trying to win.
Do you think they'll win?
Nope.
Wow.
Hey, I can't.
Yeah, but you're gonna ask him. Do you think the Raptors are gonna win? He's gonna be like, "Yep."
Do you think the Raptors?
I honestly believe that they are guaranteed to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I believe they have a strong chance to go back to the finals. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I think they're top 4 team right now, without a doubt.
Okay, who are they facing in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Milwaukee Bucks. Cavs, let's be real. It's not even possible to make it to the playoffs.
What's a man got to do to believe here?
No, it's going to be Milwaukee Bucks rematch of last year's Eastern Finals.
So no bias whatsoever.
No, but I honestly, a fan of like basketball in general, I truly believe that's going to be the Eastern Finals matchup. I don't think one of the other teams is going to knock those two out. I don't think they're guaranteed to make the finals. I don't think that, but I do think they're going back to the Eastern Finals.
We just lost a lot of followers just because you said that you didn't.
As a fan of basketball, name every basketball player.
Yeah,
every single player.
I think Cody could do it. That's scary.
Definitely could not.
All right, Cody. So I got a two-parter here for you again.
Of course you do.
Whoa.
Hey. So we talked a little bit, probably why you're going to get. This came up again. So probably why you're going to nominate yourself for the first member of the week. So since climbing the rope with the chains, do you think that you're the toughest guy at the gym?
Stupid question. No.
No questions are stupid.
Clear answer. No.
Can you
offend the viewer that asks this question?
You mean Joe?
Can you extrapolate upon that? No.
Yeah.
I am definitely.
Oh wait, follow-up question to that. Then who is the strongest member at the gym?
Strongest member?
Yeah.
Has to be a member specifically, or just the strongest person in the gym?
In general, I guess.
Human?
Yeah, human.
Well, I'm saying, you obviously do like trainers, staff, clients, right? Or if you want a member specific.
Janitor.
Strongest person in the gym.
That you laid eyes on.
Honestly, it's got to be you.
Okay, well.
Okay.
No, seriously, like you gotta be.
Okay, we're gonna cut that.
If it's not you, I would say my top three. I'd probably say it would be you.
I'm gonna stop.
Fred.
Oh, Fred's
up there. The guy's a tank.
This is because people are here.
And
no, if we go body, pound for pound,
still, you gotta be up there.
Yeah, in pounds. Just kidding.
Getting up there.
I weigh more than you.
Getting up there.
Who else would make the top three? It's a tough one. I don't want to offend anyone.
I'm already offended because you're taking
you're just not in there. I'm sorry.
If it weren't for this thumb injury.
Yeah, that's tough. You guys are top two, I would say.
Okay, we'll cut that out.
Yeah.
You guys, us guys.
Okay, then the second parter.
That was second parter.
No, that was a follow-up.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna cut out. Between Danny DeVito and the White Power Ranger, who is a better kisser? Explain.
Take all considerations.
Every consideration.
Yeah.
How could I possibly answer that?
It's a tough choice. We agree. It's a tough one. That's why we want your knowledge to answer it. It's not an easy question to answer.
People want to know.
The people want to
think about it.
I know you guys want me to say Tommy, the White Power Ranger.
No,
I know you guys want me to say,
I mean, if you want to use my name, you can do whatever you want.
Compliments you on your strength, and now he wants to kiss you.
So Danny DeVito, if you're looking at this, smaller dude.
You're gonna have to crouch or something. Kneel.
The White Power Rangers. He's been fighting crime all day. He's got a mask on. It's probably not the nicest.
Does he even take his mask off? Like,
do you take his mask off
when you kiss him?
I really don't know what to tell you guys. Sorry.
Well, you have. How do you choose?
I already answered.
What'd you say?
I said probably Tommy.
For what reason?
I don't know. How do you choose that? Like,
I think I'd go with Danny DeVito.
Yeah. What's your reason?
It's just a little more cuddly.
More cuddly.
Probably more surface area on the lips.
I don't know what Tommy looks like, but
yeah,
I'd agree with Joe.
Hey, if that's what you guys think,
it's not about what we think; it's about what we feel.
That's what we know.
I think Kimberly probably wouldn't stay with Tommy if he wasn't a good kisser. That's my answer right there.
Okay,
I think that's a legit answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
There you go. There's my answer.
Okay, that's a good.
Kimberly was dating him, so
that's fair. She
probably wouldn't have stayed with him if it wasn't for that.
That's a good answer, Cody.
There you go. See, I got it.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Was that so hard?
Kind of was.
You're such a weirdo for going through that.
Yeah. As if he answered that. We did too.
All right, the one for me, fan question. Wow, this just in.
Yeah.
Is it true that in the third game you bowled nothing but strikes?
Ooh.
Yes, it is true. For the Megan Strength.
Is there a video proof for this?
I mean, you can look at the score sheet and see that.
The score sheet can be rigged.
Go to the bowling alley and ask.
Go to Rossmere Lanes. And yeah, I bowled nothing but strikes the third game.
I wonder who asked that question.
I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. Go to the fan poll again.
Someone who wants to challenge you in bowling.
Yeah. I still got last week's situation with the pants in here.
Oh.
We'll let that one go.
Pants switch.
Yeah, and then I guess we got a few more emails this week about powerlifting and stuff like that. So some more interest about classes and and I just put for the Magma Strength system, we're going to be offering powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting classes, so small groups of 3 to 5. So we're just going to break down a little bit of the differences between like what is powerlifting and what is Olympic weightlifting, and not even maybe who could do it, but maybe there's some more prerequisites to one than the other.
I would say so.
So Joe.
Yeah. Me?
Yeah, well, powerlifting. What let's get your view on what the differences are. I'll put you on the spot here.
Oh man.
What would you think so what's powerlifting?
Well, yeah, why don't we start with the lifts?
Yeah, powerlifting. People say the big three: squat, deadlift, bench.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot that one.
I do it every single day.
That's all I do, apparently.
Okay.
I think it's much more kind of beginner friendly to get into.
Fair enough.
You should be able to get into it, especially just starting off with the lighter weights and stuff like that, but definitely much more technical if you are planning to compete or getting stronger and get those higher weights there.
Yeah.
And
so Olympic
weightlifting, I'm gonna butcher up all the names and stuff.
I'm ready for it.
Let's go. Let's see what you got.
What is it? The clean and jerk?
Yeah.
You clean, you jerk it, right?
Okay.
You got the.
Could you describe the clean and jerk?
You just clean the bar.
You just scrub it.
Make sure it's clean.
I can picture it in my mind. I don't know how to describe it. That's your expertise. I'll save it. I'll save face and have you explain it later on.
What's the other one?
Is it just a snatch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that.
So what's that one?
Easy. It's when you go whoop-ah.
That's it. That's actually
exactly it.
Yeah. That's actually how it's described in everything.
I think in textbook it's like the whoop-ah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every Polish, Ukrainian, Russian has always called the whoop-ah. Just do whoop-ah.
That whoop-ah. Just try do whoop-ah.
Try do whoop-ah. Bulgaria classic. All right, Cody. So, would you like to break down powerlifting?
In more
Sure. I guess we'll go off of what Joe was saying. Like,
can you even?
This corner? Just get through it.
Kind of covered everything already.
Can you even go into more detail?
Else to say, but no, Joe's 100% right. Like, powerlifting is definitely easier to get into. It's a pure strength sport. With powerlifting, like you said, there is the 3 exercises. Of course, there is some technique that you need to have before you can do those lifts. There's commands and cues that you need to understand and know, especially if you're going to compete. But in reality, anyone who is healthy enough without injuries can do those 3 lifts. Varying weights, obviously, the more you compete in those lifts, practice those lifts, your numbers are obviously going to go up, depending on how serious you take it. When you get Olympic lifting, though, it's not as simple as just going up to the bar and doing those exercises. Guarantee you, no one, very, very few people are going to go up to a bar and get those lifts their first time. Even just a bar.
Even just a bar, I'd agree with that, man.
I know I can't. Like, if you told me to just go right up and do them, like, it's going to look like shit. Like, it's just not going to be good.
I wouldn't even try to. Like.
Well, you even saw me today.
Yeah, Tommy had a little incident today.
Breakdance on the platform.
Dancing mid exercise there, mid lift.
Yeah, I died a little bit. Yeah, I'm on like my last.
I saw your face. You kind of like, you're like, oh shit. Like,
this is the end.
It was pretty cute.
Yeah.
It was pretty cute.
Did it look good?
Yeah.
It looked
have it on video.
solid dance moves there.
Yeah, that was not convincing at all.
We could just post it on that video during like the talk.
Pinned underneath the bar.
But with those lifts, like there's a lot of technique that you need to get down first before you can even think about adding weight to the bar.
Yeah.
A lot of strength is definitely still involved in those sports. Strength, power, speed, like all these different components that you need to practice and combine them before you add serious weight to those lifts. So that's by far the biggest difference between the sports. If someone's looking to go to one and they want to kind of start it right away, they're not wanting to put that time in practicing first, definitely go to powerlifting first. If you're willing to spend the time, work on technique, practice, then Olympic lifting is definitely an option at that point.
That's pretty right.
I'm definitely not going to go into the breakdown of the Olympic lifts because that's something that you will cover.
No, you could go off my description.
I can't beat that. I can't.
Whoop out. Yeah, what's your word for it?
That's it. Whoop out.
What? You can't copy.
I'm more of a.
We should bring up Joe's breathing during bench.
Yeah.
Breathing better. You had a perfect imitation of that today.
Yeah. Ben, that was a hit. That landed.
It did. Like Scott,
the whole gym burst out laughing for that
dying.
one. Yeah. So do you want to tell people that one?
I said, Joe. What did I say?
Something like some sort of fish.
Joe breathes like he's taking a breath like Nemo.
From
like a little
Nemo.
little fish.
Yeah, you see these guys, they take a huge breath in, get that
As you
whole
should.
thing.
As you should, yeah.
Debatable.
Joe's just this little tiny.
I don't even know if he takes any breath in.
It's just a sound.
Enough to talk mid-rep.
Move the mouth and
enough
Help.
Exhale.
Help me. You exhale as the bar comes down. I think how I explain it is like the two words should be switched in terms of like powerlifting and weightlifting.
100%
for the sports, because powerlifting, there's not a lot of power. It's just your lifting weights.
Strength based.
And then weightlifting, it's all about power. How much force you can generate as you catch that bar in that bottom position, and how much force you can put onto that bar to get it to the top position, whether it's the front rack for the clean or overhead for the snatch. With powerlifting, it's going to be that to the extreme level of powerlifting. If you're not taking it as like a strength training regimen, it's going to be training for a 1 repetition maximum, which is going to be a very slow, very uncomfortable area to be in.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the opposite.
Yeah. If you go to,
I never thought about it, but
it's going to be like that. If you're moving maximal loads, no matter who you are, it should be moving slower than a regular squat.
Yeah.
And that's going to be okay. You want it to look like if you put like, and depending on your meet goals. So say like we have a meet coming up, and like our meet coming up isn't necessarily for all athletes just to absolutely max out and like hit crazy PRs, right? There's going to be macro goals, and then there's going to be like meso or micro goals within that meet. But without going into that, it's going to be slower when you hit those higher numbers.
Yeah.
With Olympic weightlifting, it's gonna be a very quick move, and it has to be.
There's no slow.
If you're going
you
slow,
can't do slow at all.
As you saw, like when I went slow today, I absolutely died.
Well, you went down fast.
I guess.
So it's a kind of true. Yeah. It's still a fast movement, but
I mean, I still accomplished. I still did it.
You did it.
I still did it. But with powerlifting, you got. And this is where it kind of gets into like a little chess match. Like you have 3 lifts, the squat, bench, deadlift. You have 3 attempts for each. The first one's always going to be to get a number on the board, get a total. Because if you don't hit that one, then you're putting a lot of pressure on those next 2.
Yeah. Because every lift is going to be heavier, right?
Ideally, yeah. Because you can't go down.
Yeah,
right?
You're not doing. You're not.
Yeah, once you've attempted one number, you can't lower that number.
Yeah.
So if you start too high, you just screw yourself over.
Yeah.
And you're competing against other people too, so like
potentially.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Potentially.
Well, I mean, like you said, right? Depending on what your goals are.
That's
for that
true.
Meet, you shouldn't always be thinking about the other people in your class. But
and that's going to be like, that's going to have a lot of considerations. Like, there's especially like are you a competitive powerlifter? Like, and there's going to be not many people that are competitive powerlifters, because that's going to be like, so when you look at a meet, are you going to be competitive within this meet? Is the goal to be competitive at this meet?
Right.
Because if you're, say, competing for your first meet, and this is your first time listening to 3 people kind of point at you, tell you if it was a good lift, chances are you're gonna kind of goof up a little bit. And in terms of, are you going to be competitive at a local level? Maybe. Are you going to be competitive at a provincial level? Maybe.
That's the
National
thing,
level?
right?
You kind of have to be.
There's those different levels. You've got your standard meets, which
Yeah.
our meet is. It's just a basic intro meet, which can be an intro meet for people. You got your provincials, regionals, nationals, right? So if you're trying to make it to those higher levels, you don't care who's in your class. You care about hitting that total.
Yeah.
And that's
you
the
hit
thing.
that total, you get to move on to that next level.
And that's what's gonna, like, longevity too. Like, if you're that kind of powerlifter that is going for broke every single meet, like, you're gonna be competing for probably maybe 2 meets, maybe 3 meets, and
You're gonna get broke.
Then you're gonna
get broke.
You're gonna get broke.
Yeah.
But same thing with, like, Olympic weightlifting. Like, it's nuts. Like, just day to day, like, lift to lift. Like, if you blink, if you do something, that's why it's extremely. If you go to, like, the backstage of, like, a powerlifting event and an Olympic weightlifting event, it's completely different. Like, I know, like, when I competed in Olympic weightlifting, like, it was all about just being as calm and as least hyped as possible.
Yeah.
Because you have to be, everything has to be under control. You got to just, like, kind of black out and just, like, let the movement control itself, right? Whereas
powerlifting meet, it's
a damn
people
jungle
screaming
back
at
there,
you.
yeah.
It's like,
Back slaps and everything like that, which is, like, you'd still have that with Olympic weightlifting, but it's a lot more, for the most part. A lot of, like, older school coaches that have seen and handled a lot more successful athletes will be like, you know what, you're not listening to music before you lift. Like, I just want you to sit down, and every ounce of energy that you have, I want it to that 1 second where you pull that bar. Instead of, like, you have
kind of like visualizing.
And you have powerlifters that literally will just, like, headphones in for, like, 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Be, like, in between their lifts and just get, like, insanely hyped.
Well, in a sense, like, with powerlifting too, you almost, not for all lifters, but there's definitely lifters where you almost don't want to think about the lift.
Yeah.
In the sense that you've practiced your technique, your form. You kind of want to get on that platform and just lift that.
Yeah.
Like, you just want, your body knows. You've gone through those repetitions. You do the lift or you don't, right? Type thing. But with Olympic lifting, there still is so many variables that you have to just make sure line up.
And that's why the cues that you have are so important.
Yeah, I
like,
can't imagine how many cues.
Yeah, there's an insane amount of cues, but, like, and that's where, like, good coaches will meet with athletes, and will meet with athletes, like, a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance before, if they're not directly coaching with them, if they're, like, remote coaching, will be like, okay, like, based on your videos, I see this cue. Does that make sense to you? Like, if I'm shouting this as you're in the jerk position, in the dip position for a jerk. With powerlifting, same thing. Like, if I'm on the side of the platform screaming, push into your belt, and the client's like, what does this guy mean? Like, they're gonna like get extremely anxious and thinking that they're doing something wrong.
I guess going back to what you were saying, how for Olympic lifting there, where you kind of clear your head for that split second for the lift, that's probably just because you did that lift probably so many times, right? So you want to kind of just go back to how that feels, maybe like kind of instinct, so to say, how you do that whole lift. Yeah,
because, like, the big thing that I've learned in, like, all the courses that I just, like, at the table that I've gone to is that, like, the bar is pretty irrelevant in, like, Olympic weightlifting, and that, like, it's all about where the tension is at any given moment,
right?
In relation to you and the bar. But, like, you should be doing that with a PVC, like, in terms of where the tension is. An empty bar, like, the tension should be the exact same, no matter what the weight is on the bar. Whereas, and same I could say same with squat, but it's just a matter of, like, the amount of force, obviously, you're going to need to put it on that bar. And I guess...
But to add on to that, I think it was a good point, because I think a lot of injuries happen when people don't apply the same tension, right? So, like, it's a lighter weight. Oh, I've done this. I can do this, no problem. Yeah. So you're not focusing as
You wanna
much,
maintain
right? That
that.
tension isn't there. You're gripping less. You're just not paying attention. That's when injuries happen.
Yeah, that's
like,
really
and
true.
people get pissed off, like, oh, I lift this all the time. Well, yeah, you do, but you weren't paying attention. You weren't
Yeah.
focusing. Like, and that's when those injuries and mishaps happen, right?
And that's what I tell like a lot of my clients too, is that like if we're lifting heavy in the gym, and say it's their first time too, like that's where like it's not that I don't agree with those high level powerlifters or Olympic weightlifters that are like, I'm never nervous to go up to a weight.
Yeah.
Because I think like everyone should have some nerves, like to a certain extent. But in a gym setting, you're not going to get hurt here. Like everything is set up for you to succeed. Whether it's the bar on the platform, the bar on your back in a squat, like a reasonable, like responsible coach, not a reasonable one, but I guess a reasonable one too.
Yeah.
Responsible coach will be putting you in a scenario where you're going to be the most successful.
Yeah.
And like I know there's times where maybe I'll leave a little bit out more for the athlete, on a given day, but you're not going to get injured here. You're going to get injured at home picking stuff up, picking like groceries up kind of goofy, or picking.
Well, you see those memes
goofy,
or the jokes all the time, like you can lift hundreds of pounds in the gym, but you bend over to pick up a pencil or something and you hurt yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're not doing it the way you should be. You're just jerking motion, right? You just do a quick like sudden movements type thing, and that's when those injuries happen.
And that's where like I know a lot of my, say to the extreme extent, like my powerlifting programs, there's going to be a lot of warm up for the main lifts. Like
I can attest to that.
Yeah,
that's
like
an accurate statement right there.
Half the maybe like
It's
a third.
sometimes
good portion of
depending on the day, right?
A good portion of the workout.
At least a third. It's like time wise.
At minimum,
time wise is
warming
it's going
up.
to be priming yourself for the movement. Because like, hey, if you're a powerlifter, like you're literally, you got one job to do today, and it's going to be whether it's a goofy pause set, whether it's the banded work. You need this to move good, and I don't want you to move it good on the last set. I want you to move it good on the first set, the third set, the fifth set, the 10th set, whatever it is. It has to move good.
But that's just such a big part of when you said about the longevity of competitors too. Is the competitors, you're way more likely to be able to compete longer if you're the one spending that time doing that versus someone who skips out, rushes through their warm-up, and just goes straight to lifts. Your chance of injury, breakdown, your recovery goes down. Like, it's just such a huge component in so many aspects, not just in that moment.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of that, like, competitiveness, like, in terms of, like, are you competitive enough to be, like, that person that is just going for, like, that 5x5 at, like, 100 pounds, and it's just, like, going in, couple leg swings, bodyweight squat, boom. I'm like, I'm going to do my 5x5 because that's the volume that I need to get. It's like, they're probably going to be decently strong, and like, I'm not saying that program's not going to work, but in terms of like that person that
to get to the next level, right?
And the person that maybe is at, like, say there's always that thing where like there's someone working harder than you or whatever, but that person that is maybe in that same person's category that is scheduling an extra maybe 15 minutes to do some priming work to get, like, okay, before I get under the bar, I want to make sure that this tightness in my quad or my ankle is kind of mobilized a little bit, or I'm going to activate my glutes a little bit, or my adductors, whatever it is that, like, is in. I mean, ideally a coach isn't gonna. I know with me, like, that was the biggest thing that I think that I like to separate from other coaches, that, like, I'm not going to give you a just set reps regimen. I'm going to make sure that, like, because that's pretty much secondary, right? It's all about where the tension is, and that, like, you're able to. So I want you to be primed and mobilized enough to be able to do that, especially if I'm not with you one-on-one. Because if I'm there with you one-on-one, I know, like,
you can see it.
This looks kind of goofy. Does it feel bad?
Yeah. You point it out and pick it up quicker, right?
Yeah.
So instead of after the fact.
Mm-hmm. And then I kind of forget where I was going, but like going into like powerlifting training, it's going back to, like, it being uncomfortable. Like, if you go to a commercial gym and people see you doing like a 90, 80, 85, maybe 85, 90% squat, and you're going to look like you're going to die, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, people are going to be like, is this guy okay? Like, they're going to get hurt or something, right? But it's just a matter of, what I want to see my clients, I want to see those people putting in that effort, right? Mm-hmm. Especially, like, like on their face. I know, like me, like I'm really bad at hiding my emotions. So if I see something like I'll wear it exactly on my face, right?
Yeah.
But
I can that.
it's pretty rare that you're going to see a person doing an 85-90% squat and it's going to be like just kind of like monotone. Like they're going to have to be grinding,
run in, or
well,
it's going to be a struggle
most times, unless you're Joe benching and you can talk mid rep when it's supposed to be a max rep and be like, what was it? I'm okay, guys, or something.
No, I was trying to go for my one rep max.
I'm trying my best.
I'm
trying my best.
And I was struggling midway, and everyone's like, "Go, go!"
Yeah,
and I'm trying my best here.
Yeah,
Halfway,
everyone's like, "Well, if you're talking, you're."
No, that's just, and that's just the thing. Like, could you imagine, like, with a little bit of cueing, with a little bit like effort and tension, that weight's flying up.
Weight's flying up.
Guaranteed. Magnum strength guaranteed.
Oh shit.
That weight's flying up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just a lot of practice of a person's 1 rep max today. Like if we want to test your 1 rep max today, and then you follow a strength program, like, and then in 2 to 4 weeks you hit a new PR. Is like, it's just a matter of like your body getting primed to like move heavy weights, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of like different factors into that, programming wise, but like in terms of like just kind of glaze over that. Yeah, cool. Or even like say ability wise too. So if we did, we didn't even really talk about the squat, but squat being like the parallel. Just say if a person can't get the parallel,
like even body weight, right?
Yeah, or even like body weight. But say, I'm gonna give myself a better scenario. Say they can, but it's like it's just shaving, right?
Yeah.
And then after like a couple weeks, they can get below depth and they can squat more. It's going to be okay. Well, you giving them more mobility has, opened some more doors to what muscles can assist with that.
But to add to that, like even just like earlier today, some of the lifters out there, they're saying like, actually it was yesterday too. Conversations come up quite a bit this week. It's the little details that can make the biggest difference in your lift. Right? Yeah. Like that, whether it is a mobility issue or whether it's a cue, just straight up bar position, you can make those little changes. I think people overlook the whole strength side of things. Like, oh, I can't get it, I'm not strong enough. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the case, but maybe it's not. Maybe you are just missing that one little component. Yeah. And that one component is going to make that lift jump up, right?
Yeah. So, and sometimes that's like, I just need to try harder. Because I know like that's where I love my clients to be, is like, you have, say I worked with a client for like 12 weeks or like 12 to 16 weeks, and then finally I'm like comfortable to like push them a little bit more, because the first of any program when you're working with them, you're most likely going to want them to be undertrained or whatever. I'm not just going to get a client and be like, hey, let's go for it.
Build that base, right?
Yeah, and then after that time you're going to be like, okay, I'm able to push this person, and then they hit a set, and then you're like, it looks kind of off, looks kind of weird. Like, well, what happened there? Like, well, it just felt hard. Yeah. Like, it just felt like I had to try more. Like, I just had to put effort in. It's like, yeah, like, if that's going to be the difference, you're going to have to just try a bit more to move that weight smoother than...
Yeah. It's literally what happened in my first set of working deadlifts today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I straight up said, like, just didn't feel good. Something was just... But then the next sets were good. Like, they felt better, right? Sometimes one rep or one set isn't a true indicator, right? So...
Yeah, and then like working on, like especially like say for like us at the very beginning when we're kind of screwing with everything and kind of like just breaking it down in its entirety and giving a lot of cues, and that's what we want to work with right now. When we can focus on a lot right now, so when it comes to a time where we need one, I just gotta say one thing and then all of it just aligns, right?
Just know what to do.
Instead of like me giving one cue and then like down here messes something up or down here messes something up, I say one cue and then all of it comes together, right? And that's why I use that kind of bottom up approach of with a squat, with like getting your feet, getting that foot position, spreading the floor, squeezing the glutes, getting that breath in, getting back tight. Like I said, that extremely fast, but then usually like with a powerlifter, it'll be like, find your footing position, and that's always going to be home. So get your footing position, and then usually a very common cue is going to be brace. And then that's it. Like they've done the squat essentially. Like I'm not going to put something on the bar that at first you can't do, And I mean, if those two lock everything in position, it's done. Like you've done the lift, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went in pretty in depth, but I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say that was probably more than we planned, but it's
and
good.
I mean,
Like,
just
it
to
was a
go
good
back to
breakdown.
saying like how powerlifting is really, I'd say beginner friendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, it's as simple as you want to make it, but we just went in depth.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
we
just
can,
to add to the
we can
beginner
go more.
friendly,
Yeah.
it's also more accessible and friendly to all ages.
yeah,
Like if you look at, I actually just had this conversation with an Olympic lifter last week, someone who was at the gym, and they're saying how like the one thing with powerlifting is if you're staying healthy, you can lift a lot longer in the sport
Yeah, and it
than
builds,
you can more likely
builds
than
like
in
a solid
Olympic
base
lifting.
too.
I would say that depends.
In terms of, I'm talking starter. Like it's gonna be a lot harder to get that like all those components down at an older age than it is just to straight learn the powerlifting lifts, right?
Yeah, and that's gonna be like, yeah, if you're going to goals, like, is a 75-year-old person gonna max out in either of those sports?
True, yeah, but sometimes you just get people that like they're like they never did it, right? And
Well,
they reach a point where
yeah.
I just want to do it.
Yeah.
I
And
just
that's
want
true,
to,
yeah.
like-
Because I know, like, with all my clients, I'll go through like a 3-week Olympic weightlifting phase so that they get it, you know,
And hey,
their
I'm
eyes like accustomed to it, and then they're like, you know what, like I don't want to put that much effort into it. It's like, yeah, that's fine. That's
fine.
not for you.
and I'm all for people. If don't matter what your age is, if you want to try it, try it. Maybe you're not going to go max out, but you're still trying it, right?
There's always a good like starter level to try
Yeah.
things out. Like you're not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so much more prerequisites.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That with
for
Olympic
for
lifting.
Olympic lifting, in specific mobility. So more than that, like your ankles are gonna
yeah.
have to be more mobile. You don't have to get to a full depth squat. Like you're gonna be able to power things.
Yeah.
So doing like a power clean,
A lot of
a
shoulder
power,
mobility too.
Yeah, especially like if we're just looking at, I don't like using an overhead squat as like an assessment for like a beginner anyways, just because, you know, if a person hasn't squatted in their life and you're
They're
doing an
not gonna
overhead
be able
squat,
to do
you know, you're just kind of setting them up for failure in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like you can do like shoulder mobility tests for sure, but I think an overhead squat, like the first time I did an overhead squat was hilarious. It was like, I felt like everything was going to blow up. But, you know, it just takes time, and that's the thing. Like, if you want, but that's with any sport. Like,
Sure.
if you're taught, like, the best thing and the best advice I could give is just, like, go compete. If you think about competing, you know, do it as soon as you can. Because then that's going to give you a good, like, kind of, instead of you maxing out in the gym, whether you like it or not, what you did on the platform is your best.
To add to that, a lot of gyms will do like mock meets
Yeah.
and that too, right? So you don't have to
That's a good-
fully register to be a power lifter or an Olympic lifter, right? Just find one of those meets that are just for fun, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can do those, and that
Yeah.
gives you that little intro to the sport.
Intro experience.
And then
just
you can
to
kind of
know.
make a decision at that point. Oh, I really like that, or I didn't like that, and it's
Yeah.
just like you can justify both reasons easier
Yeah.
Yeah.
with one of those type of meets.
Mhm.
So there's always options to try it out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, like, I mean, Cody kind of cornered me last episode with choosing Olympic weightlifting or powerlifting, but like, Olympic weightlifting is just a lot. You got to spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well, same with powerlifting. Like each of the sports, you got to
It's
spend
just
a lot of
different,
time.
right? It's
But
different variables.
yeah, this like the timing, the mobility required to do like a snatch, the timing, the technique, compared to like a squat.
Yeah.
is going to be different. But I mean, I love squatting heavy as well. I love like that process, and in terms of like say rehab and stuff, like it's amazing. Like when I had to rehab my knee there from like overtraining, like the matter of like committing time to rehab and get better, and then using potentially, like depending how trained you are with the barbell movements, you doing not a max out, but you getting to like heavier loads and seeing like how your body responds to that. Do your symptoms kind of
It's
flare
true
up?
though. Like I used to hate squats.
Yeah.
Like all of the 3 lifts, deadlift, bench, I'll do that anytime you tell me to. Right? Someone tells me to squat, I'd be like, I don't want to do it. But lately, after fixing some issues, right, and like positioning and things like that, it starts moving so smooth, and it's just like, man, like love it right now. Because when it starts feeling good, right, it's just like it's one of those things, right? So you fix the issues, everything feels better. You usually hate something when it's not going the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
Right? So like for me, I still have a bit of an issue obviously with like shoulder, bicep and stuff like that, but it's the squat movement is feeling amazing. So I actually enjoy it right now, whereas before it's like I don't want to squat.
Yeah.
I don't want, or heavy, right? You don't want to push it because it's not feeling
nice
good.
To lift
like,
super heavy
but
too.
when everything feels
Yeah.
aligned, let's go for it.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like I think like barbell physio, like that's one of their main things. That like, you know what, you're not even taking anything a lot, and I'm not doing any like bashing on physios, but like say his thing or their thing could be that like mentally like it feels really good to lift something heavy, right? And if you're doing it right with a neutral spine,
I was gonna say lifting heavy
properly, and that should go without
like
saying, but I guess like we should say that it's like lifting heavy properly feels good.
Feels totally different than lifting heavy and it not feeling good.
Yeah,
like it's just totally different.
So just to cap it off, I guess.
Yeah, we crazy
went
there.
overtime.
This is definitely it was a good topic though. I mean,
It
we covered a lot,
is.
right? And it lines up perfect because with the powerlifting meet coming up, I truly believe that's why we've been getting a lot of emails asking about powerlifting.
Interest,
Olympic lifting too, is because people see we offer those types of training at our facility. We are an ideal location for that, so it's a perfect chance to kind of explain those movements to people, right?
Yeah, and there's going to be, like even when I got into Olympic weightlifting first, it was like I just like did it and I was like, oh, that looks good, that feels good, and like the best thing you can do is just look at videos and be like, that's rough. That was a tough one.
Goes both ways though.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel as bad, or it doesn't feel ideal, and you look at it like, was that the same lift?
Yeah.
Like, so it can go both
but
ways
I mean,
for sure.
Like I just want to wrap like with your like shoulder bicep. Yeah. Like that could be like before starting like this type of programming, like how many days, say maybe were you squatting or doing that, right?
Well, I'm squatting a lot more right now.
Yeah.
That's a safe answer. Like there's a way more squatting.
Yeah. So then that could be like, that's just like substantially more.
Earlier today, we were joking around. SBD, everyone calls it, right? Squat, bench, dead. I was like, well, I'm not on an SBD program. I'm on an SSSBD program.
It'd be like
there's way more squats than
squat.
SSSSBD.
Yeah,
and that's I mean, a lot of people are going to be good deadlifters. Like, it kind of goes without saying, unless you're like very new to it, maybe potentially, unless you're like still trying to learn how that hinge works and how those mechanics works. But then that's gonna like relatively like snap up right away, and then usually you're gonna have to work on that posterior chain a lot more and quads and adductors to build that squat up. And like one of my like, say for SBD, say with a powerlifter, like if I want you to squat your opener and potentially second, you're gonna have to do that in training, because if you can't do it in training, how are you going to do it come contest time?
Right.
And if you can't do those back to back, then come contest day, then we're opening up a new can of worms that like, you've never experienced. And if we don't accumulate some sort of fatigue, squatting and benching back to back, then when you lift maximum weight and potentially get like a squat workout and a bench workout all in the same day within hours of each other, like there's going to be some major issues potentially. Potentially. Right? And that's and that could be me just like overthinking details in a program, which I tend to do. But I mean, I'd much rather be.
I don't know. Sometimes we joke around that you just throw shit together and just
see if it works.
Let's see how this feels.
Let's see if it works. But that's a lot of things like whether I ask clients to record like first set, last set, sets 1 through 5, whatever, because I want to see the bad sets. I want to see the good sets. I want to see...
But not even just you, that the person gets to see.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't care.
But no, like it's true, right? Like you seeing it and feeling it, it's not always...
Yeah. But even like say when we did that breakdown of yours, like there was probably things that I hope there's things that I pointed out that you're like, I guess.
No, it was all wrong. I didn't agree with anything you said.
You're like, I'm going off program.
Yeah, no, I'm going to round up all the numbers, make it easier to load the bar. And
exactly. Make me drive me crazy.
Driving all of us crazy these days.
So, Joe, what's the difference between powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting?
Quick answer.
There's no papas in powerlifting.
There's a lot of papas.
There's more like, but no papa.
That's true.
There's a lot of. I think I grunt more Olympic weightlifting. For sure, I pretty much grunt every.
See, I don't really make guys. Yeah,
I do.
Some people are super loud, right, and like a lot of grunting and like.
I can't remember when I hit when I did top singles at the end of that one cycle.
Oh yeah, you were. Well, that was afterwards too. Were your squats there or?
When I got.
I think it's more of a screech than.
I'm a hisser when I do accessory.
Yeah, it kind of gets a little like. It's right in my soul there. But.
I guess we should cap that off before we open up.
Will we open it up here?
So powerlifting. Is there any, I guess, final words before we?
I don't got anything.
No, I think we
talked about Power Rangers, so we're good.
Yeah,
that was the only important thing, I
Cody's,
guess. You guys made sure that was in there.
I think we got some good podcasts lined up for future episodes. Getting some guests on here.
Oh yeah,
that's gonna be coming
for
soon.
Sure.
Soon there'll be a fourth person. Rotating through.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll have to set that.
Maybe a fifth. Just kidding. It's too
fill
many,
the room.
Too many people.
We're gonna fill this room up. But I think.
Sure. I don't have anything to say other than once again, if you guys want, please subscribe, comment, ask questions.
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear about, and then we'll make sure Joe answers it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
2.
That was a good one.
That was good.
I'll keep that.